What's going on? This is City Chapters Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby J. Today's chapter is with Genesis Veronon. He's here to talk about Shootfest 3. What's going on, Genesis?
Hey, man. Good afternoon, man. We in here.
Yes, sir.
Shootfest 3, September 14th, Northtown Mall, our third installment of this horse tournament, man. I'm pretty pumped up for it, man. A little pressure on me, but I'm excited to bring this to the community yet again.
Yeah, man. So tell us about what Shootfest is and why you started it.
Okay. Well, last year I was cruising through the mall. I do these, not podcasts, but I do these things called doses where I talk about different things. So I went live and I was talking about mobilizing, and I was talking about, I think I was watching something on Killer Mike, and I was talking about the ability to be creative and mobilize and get things going. All of a sudden, I was walking through the mall doing my live, and I decided to do the tournament in the mall in the style of playing horse, the way we play it. So we play the game where there's no proving it. There's no left hand, right hand. You just shoot from different spaces. So I wanted to try something different. I wanted to bring a game. It was right after a knee surgery. So I was also like, I like to play basketball, but I wanted to do something where you couldn't get hurt, where we can be competitive and not have to worry about tearing a ligament, or anything like that,
Yeah, totally. So out of the injury and just you walking through the mall, this idea came to you to do more of a competition. Why did you pick the mall for the place to do it?
That's a great question. So I chose the mall because I think within the talk, I was talking about how I used to have a business there and how there were different businesses that are no longer there, and the importance of just making sure that we have a place for kids and the community to go. There's lots of cool things about the mall, lots of space there, a lot of entrepreneurs that start their business that are using their retirement, that have taken over big chain stores and are casting out to catch their own fish and be entrepreneurs. So the purpose for Hootfest, the major purpose, was to create non-holiday events where we could get several hundred people who would not otherwise be in the mall, get them together, having some clean fun, playing basketball and getting people in the mall to spend a little extra cash between games,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of giving the malls some kind of event to draw people in and kind of bring some life back to malls.
100%. Online shopping is just been, it's been a tear on independent small businesses and stuff like that. So even major businesses, what am I saying? A lot of major chain stores are closing as a result. Back in the 90s, I was in retail, and I remember, my district managers, regional managers talking to us about the internet sales and what would happen and how malls would change. And lo and behold, we're there. We're definitely in that space now.
What do you feel is the importance of malls, and bringing people to it?
Well, malls are generally safe. There's not the people who are, I don't want to say weird, but the people who appear to be unsafe, or people who are acting crazy. There's security in the mall. There's people, they get them out of there, So it's a safe place where people can go, have fun, connect with their friends, meet new people, and support small businesses. There's a lot of small businesses now in the Northtown Mall. So It just gives them a chance to get highlighted. And and some of these sponsors, some of these businesses are sponsors for the event too. So that's a huge plus.
Yeah, man, totally.
Yeah.
So break down how the game is played,
Okay.
and how you guys set it up.
Excellent. So the first thing we do is we have rounds with 7 people per round. And so let's say that there's 7 people playing. Let's say that you and I are the first 2 people out of the 7. So there's 5 other people besides ourselves. So it's the game of horse, but there's no left hand or right hand or no special moves. So what I mean by that, and I'll just break this down quickly, is we're not going to have southpaws or left hand people come in and just call left hand shots and just abuse people, or anything like that. So There's none of that. You shoot from sponsor locations. You call your shot net, which is all net or backboard, or you just call a slop shot, which means that you shoot, and if you hit it, then they can hit it. The next shooter can take their shot however they want, as long as it goes in. So I don't want to get off track with your question, but it's really basic horse. It's really simple, and
no bank shots, trick shots, any
bank shots. Yes,
bank off the board, but you can't like hit it off the pillar and do any
of
that
no
crazy
goofy stuff. No razzle dazzle, as Mike Betheley would say. That's quote unquote. No razzle dazzle. So just straight up shooting. So that's why we call it Shootfest. We have the little horse in the logo to say, hey, this is the game of horse. And it's a lot of fun. Oh, and one important thing is there's no proving it. So I've always thought that was a silly rule. Like if you make a dope shot and you're about to close out the game, how do I get to hand the ball back to you and say, Bobby, prove it? That's corny to me. So
you need to prove it.
Yeah. So you get a chance as the player that's about to be eliminated. You take one shot, and then if you make that shot the way it was called, then the next person has to make the shot. You go about your business. But if you miss the first shot in the way that you were supposed to make it, you get one more chance to shoot your way back into the tournament. You get to
prove it.
Yeah, so you got to prove it. You got two chances to prove it, and you go about your business.
That makes sense. Like you the person that's got to prove it, not me. I already made it.
That's right.
You got to prove it.
That's right.
That's
so there's a lot of drama with that too, man. So there's been, especially towards the end of the tournament, when people are heating up and getting used to the basket, because that's another reason why we do it in the mall too, because we could do a benefit horse thing or whatever, but we do it. Nobody has any advantages. Nobody's familiar with the court. Nobody's familiar with the hoop or the rim. It's a brand new rim just about every time. So it's pretty cool.
Where is the actual event located in the mall at Northtown Mall?
So the event is located right in front of Champs Sports. So that it would be on the southeast part of the mall, right? So right in front of Get Air, which is another one of our sponsors, the jumping trampoline park there.
Yeah.
So we're right in front of Champs, right in the Sears corridor, right next to Urban Blends, which is another one of our sponsors. So we have that whole corner on lock, right where the entry of Sears is or was, however you want to look at that.
It's like right also underneath like the second story opening awning or section. So people can watch from above as well.
And it's super fly. Like, it was really cool. The first time one of our sponsors, King Moolah was one of our sponsors for Winter Hoop, our very first one. And at King Moolah shows, he has a money gun. That's how they like to get down and stuff. And I think that's super cool. And he was going to shoot his money gun. He's like, I'm about to shoot it off or whatever. I said, hey, bro, go upstairs and do it. And he's like, oh, that's a good idea. So he had shot that out for the contestants and for the people from up above, and it was actually pretty cool, you know. So it's like an arena. That's another reason that's cool there. So as we build this and push through and just continue to grow this, because right now we have two of our champions up there too in that whole thing. Hopefully around that whole arena area we'll have many champions as the months and years go by as we build this thing, man, this horse tournament.
Who are the two champions currently?
So the first champion is Davion Angel. He's now graduated. I think he's like 2 years graduated, or a year, at least a year or two graduated from Rogers. He had actually got benched by his coach on the basketball team, and turned around and entered Shootfest and had a convincing victory, man. Did a really good job. And then the second time he made it to the final three. So hopefully he's entered into this tournament. So we'll see if we see Davion make a return. And then our current champion is Tavius Markeith Brown Jr. So he is all over the place. Because what we do is, for our champions, we put their name and their face on the following promotion. So if they're the champ, you will see them featured on the new
flyers.
New flyers. This is Tavius right here. Tavius Markeith Brown Jr., Shootfest 2 champion.
Who won it, man?
Yeah,
who won it?
So so in terms of who won it too, I want to speak on this too. Who won it? It's actually, we could have called it Shootfest 3, right? And to me, in actuality, this is the third installment of Shootfest, right? There's no denying that. But but who won it is the theme. Okay.
Okay.
The first theme that we did for the initial one was called Winter Hoop. So we had a whole Winter Hoop collection, really cool shirts. The second one was called Show and Prove, and it was for the 50 year of hip hop celebration. Hip hop turned 50 that Friday, that previous Friday. So we had Shootfest 2 on Saturday, and then the night before that, hip hop had just turned 50. So I had actually 2 events. And Show and Prove is like an old school, it's a saying from certain elements of hip hoppers that you just have to show and prove. You don't talk, you show up and prove. So we wanted to kind of bring that concept together with the hip hop. And hey, you're showing and proving your skills when you come and play. So Tavius won that. He's now the champion. And this new installment, Shootfest 3, is who won it. And speaking to that briefly, that name, shout out to TKO from Las Vegas. He was visiting me a few weeks ago at my house, him and Coulter, and we were brainstorming. And I asked him, I said, man, when you see this picture, because this is before we had any graphics, I was showing the picture around and showing various ones. Because I said, hey, bro, what do you see when you see this? When you look at this, man, what do you see? And he looks at me and he goes, who won it? And I'm like, there it is. Yeah. So that's how it worked out, man. I love to collaborate. There's a lot of who won it things all over the place, and we know that the English is not proper, but that's all right. We keeping it street, we keeping it urban, we keeping it hip hop. Hip hop is in everything that I do, and it's fly. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. I am too. I'll be in the building.
Word.
Representing city chapters, yeah. Which Genesis was kind enough to allow me to be a sponsor. Invited me in to help them support this, and having them on the podcast is one way for sure. I can get the word out there. So going in on how the game was played, if you play the game well, what do you win?
Okay, so we are going to release the third and second place prizes this weekend.
Okay.
Maybe tonight. We'll have to see. But the first place prize, I'm glad you're asking too, because I've talked about it online. I've posted some things, but it's $1,000 in cash and prizes. So what it's going to end up being is 700 $100 crisp $100 bills. Okay. And the prizes part is $300 in stuff that you can get from the mall. Okay. Because we're not trying to be deceiving. We're giving someone that $1,000 worth of things, but $700 in cash, $300 in prizes, because we want to make sure that some of that money stays in the mall. Right. It's very, very important. The second place probably be somewhere around $200 or $300 in cash. First place, probably $100 or so in cash. It's very, very good in terms of our outright prizes. But another side of this coin is there's ways to get paid and ways to come up throughout this tournament by shooting on a sponsor spot. Like, for instance, Bobby, city chapters. Do we have city chapters hats here? What are these here? Mm-hmm. Right? City chapters hats, right? So let's say that you decide to activate your city chapter's circle, your shooting location. You'll tell the MC, hey, I want to activate this shot. If someone makes this shot right now, whoever makes the first shot from this gets a hat. Then the sponsors have the ability to activate those things pretty much at any time. It goes all day long. And so I think Jamie Stacy from Strong Women Achieving Greatness, one of our sponsors, she had came up with that concept, I think, at Shootfest too. So the sponsor spots Switching over to that, the sponsor spots are the location. So in this case, there would be a city chapter, is like a circle, probably about this big. That'll be a sticker on the floor. I think we're going red this time. So we do that because sometimes when you're playing horse, hey, that's not where I was standing. Take another step back or whatever, right? So we eliminate that by having a shooting spot, a sponsor spot. So that takes care of that. That takes care of highlighting every time that someone shoots from that spot, your company gets a shout out every single time. I mean, so there's dozens and dozens of shout outs depending on where you're shooting from. It could be quite a bit more, so we haven't determined where we're going to put everybody's shot location. So those are the reasons for that. So we have the activation thing that you can do to activate for your sponsor spot. You get highlighted every time you shoot from that space. And also we know exactly where this person is shooting from because the MC, and yes, there's an MC on the court, a person with a microphone on the court every single moment, talking to the shooters, engaging with the people, with the crowd, and there's a DJ there. So it's going to be amazing,
Yeah.
I was hoping you could do, now I see, I don't know much about podcasts. I've been on one other one, but I was hoping that eventually we can get you guys to come down and do something live, So one of you guys, Grind 365, they're in here. Very good podcast as well. Hopefully he can come down, or one of you guys eventually as this grows and just talk to the people, man. Bring your brand, the whole thing, So we'll see how that plays out in the future.
Yeah, that definitely can be done. Yeah. Brendan has all the stuff to make that happen. So what is the long-term vision that you have for Shootfest?
That's a great question. So not just in Spokane, malls all over America are closing. So we're starting here. We're starting in our own backyard. This is, again, our third installment. So it's very important that we get the community to understand what we're doing. This particular one, and not to get away from your question, we're even adding an incentive. You get your own custom-made shirt for this. So we're trying to do everything we can to get people into the mall and get the communities together. Get people together is powerful. Like, it really is. And to that point, last summer, I was in the mall promoting Shootfest 2, and I was upstairs in a hat store, and there was two younger guys talking. When I say younger, I'm in my 40s, so these guys, as one guy revealed his age, he says, I'm 32 years old, and he goes, he was a New York guy too, so he was a little louder, and everything. I like New York cats, but he was talking, and he had said, hey, my age group is the last age group to be outside. And so I was like, what do you mean? He goes, to really play outside. He goes, I was talking with my friends, and he's like, we were going through everything. And at this, last year he was 32. Now he's like 33. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, dang, that is deep, to be that aware and to look at yourself and be like, we are the last people to play outside. Where when I was a child, we were always outside. We were encouraged to be outside. We were told to be outside. You wanted to be outside because if you were inside, you're gonna be scrubbing or busting suds or doing something, know.
Right.
So that was a different perspective. And to add to that, even one of the new techniques that we've been doing, you guys, we've been taking this flyer, Bobby, putting double-sided tape here and here, and placing them on basketball goals all over the city, from the valley to the north side to everywhere.
All the Hoop Fest
We've done
ones,
hundreds
like
of them. I'm talking about personal residential ones on the street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't run up in nobody's park. I didn't run up in no one's driveway or nothing. But if they're
allegedly,
if there are joints on the street, I've been hitting it, bam, just tagging it on there.
That's smart, dude. That's good
but
idea.
here's the sad part. That's very smart. The sad part is, bro, no one's shooting. Hundreds of goals.
What about the South Hill, man? The park there at Lincoln Heights Park. I don't know if it's actually called Lincoln Heights Park.
So, I know.
Do you go to those ones too?
So I definitely go to those
put them
too.
on there
but we've had so much hot weather that I had to find out where people are playing. So Move Fitness.
They be running it up at the park by my house all the time.
So I'll have to stop by.
Yeah.
But my point is the residentials, though. In certain cases, bro, we're talking about expensive rims too.
Right.
And people aren't outside.
Yeah.
That's the point. And that's what was kind of disheartening, because when you see 20, 30, 40, and you're like, okay, that's 20, 30, 40 rims, and ain't nobody happens to be shooting on them. And then when you get to 100, and then when you get to 200, and it's like you're seeing the same trend, you're like, okay, what is this? And so what that revealed to me is that we need to get people together even more. Because if you're not even shooting at your own house, where are you? You know, I like to game too, but I want to come. You need to get outside and connect. You know, you need to meet people. You need to stay in touch with people. You need to be able to know how to relate, you know, and in the physical. I think that that's very important. So hearing that 32-year-old guy tell me last summer that his age group was the last people to play outside, it kind of really, it haunts me. Like I think about that every week. I tell people that story, and it's kind of crazy. From one perspective, it's like, dang, I'm getting old, you know. But the scariest part about it is really that's the trend, and what can we do to come against that? What can we do to work against that, to get people coming together as family, as community, as friends, and just really getting out together, doing something fun.
I love that you bring this up, because that's a big reason why I do this podcast, is trying to have conversations based around these type of topics of like how it feels a lot of times that our society is kind of just falling apart in the aspects of being able to really have community. Doesn't mean that we don't do things like where we have big events and stuff, but like a lot of times that seems to revolve around going to concerts and things like that. Now that's a great place to connect with your friends. And like, I got friends that go to Dave Matthews every year. It's like their best time of the year.
Right.
Because all their friends go and they get to just kind of untap from the normal world and be at the Gorge for that weekend.
Right.
It's beautiful. I've been there with them once, and it was a great time. But like, that is a special place. The Gorge is, you know, is a part of our culture because they have things there often. But like, what are we doing in our own city to help build outside of like let's take Hoop Fest. They've done a lot of great things, but amazing things.
100.
Like, just amazing. But this is more intimate and more connecting with people within your own community, it sounds like. And that seems like you're having a more specified target on connecting people within the community, where there's just so many people at Hoop Fest from all over the world playing 3-on-3. You're not really going to connect with those people or learn those people's names like you're going to play in H.O.R.S E.
Right.
Or you're not going to remember, like, obviously, like Tavius. Everybody that played Shootfest last year with him is going to remember Tavius.
100%. And to your point, what's interesting about this current champion Tavius is a lot of people, this guy's a hooper, you know, so you never know what you're going to get with this thing before or during the tournament. Come to find out, I knew who Tavius was as a child. I just didn't know who he was. One of my exes, his mother would bring him by all the time, but he was a baby, so I didn't know that this. Now he's a man. He's all tatted up. Man, I was down at Hoop Fest, and I've been promoting everywhere, and I saw these brothers. They're all like 6'4" or better, from Seattle, Tacoma. Many people know who this guy was. Come to find out, he played at Everett Community College or whatever. So he did play on the West Side, but the guy works hard. So he's going to be, or he is, a very formidable champion, and hopefully he won't have his A game that day. You know, hopefully give us a chance, because he's a serious hooper. But yeah, it's very important what we're doing. The community, yes, it is a lot more intimate. To your point, you know, number one, there's just one hoop.
Right.
There's not. Eventually, as this grows, we'll probably figure out ways to do it. But right now, seeing that, you know, we can run 7 people at a time, and who's to say we couldn't extend that to more? It is indeed more intimate. Naturally, people hear their names over the microphone, over the loudspeakers, through the microphone, over the speakers. So yes, absolutely right. This is Shootfest is something definitely definitely unique and more intimate and different. We are a bona fide horse tournament. There's not going to be any injuries. There's not, the only thing that's going to get hurt is your feelings, out here. You're not going to catch an elbow on accident, or whatever. You're not going to get ticked off because someone steps on your foot
or comes you,
you come down on somebody's on the top of their foot and roll your ankle on a rebound. All those things that come with the game of basketball, where you can get injured. We've eliminated those things, and that's good for people who are on teams already, and that's good for older cats like me. Who, I try to swat a fly, and I might pull something. So it's crazy. So yeah, the only thing that can get hurt is your feelings. I was saying earlier before we started shooting, and I tell everybody this, we had an 11-year-old girl who came and entered the tournament with her father. She had a Steve Nash jersey on, Phoenix Suns. So this child was not even close to being born when he played for the Phoenix Suns. That's quite a long time ago. And she was hooping on grown people, man. I had brothers in my ear. They were serious, but they were joking, like, who's that? Who's this little girl, man? And so it was fun to have her come out and play with her father. And that's what we want to do, you guys. We want to continue to do this thing. It's not an annual event. We want to eventually do these things quarterly, if not, somewhere in there, just from that one location. And then do them in different places. Moses Lake. We already went down to Portland last year. Met up with Cool Nuts. We're talking about possibilities of going down there already. So we're planting the seeds to do it in other places where it's needed, and just see where it goes. So it's simple. We didn't invent basketball, and we didn't invent horse either. But we're inventing new creative ways to have it manifest itself. So that's what we're doing. It's a lot of fun, and we are the first ones in the world to do this. Mm-hmm. So no one's had a horse tournament in a mall with our rules anywhere. And so Q6 partnered up with us. They've been helping us get this out, and they actually did the research on that statement. They didn't find any other thing. So Shootfest is the one. We are not the McDowells of Hoopfest. So, yeah, a little coming to America humor.
So yeah, you mentioned an 11-year-old girl playing who crushed it. What are the age is allowed to play? There's not age brackets, correct?
So there's not brackets yet. We haven't had, if there was a 6-year-old that wanted to play. Now, this is a great question because this one we're giving people T-shirts. It's the high quality T-shirts too, the ones that, if you're in decent shape, when you put them on, you look like an action figure, those type of T-shirts. So you get those, and that's an incentive. When you play, I'll try not to get too far out into my canoe here. So think about it like this. I've never ran Bloomsday. Have you done Bloomsday?
I haven't.
Okay, good. You're smart. Anyway, eventually maybe I'll do a Bloomsday, but I haven't. So, but if I did Bloomsday, or if you did Bloomsday, you probably wouldn't be of the mind that you're going to win Bloomsday. You're not, I'm going to do it this year because I think I can win, right? You're not going to, that's not your, you're going to just do it because you're for a couple different reasons. You're going to do it because you haven't done it before. You like the T-shirt design, so you want to get your T-shirt. Your girlfriend, your new girlfriend who's super fit or whatever, she's like, you're going to run Bloomsday with me. So then your ass is going to Bloomsday, There's different reasons, but you're probably not going to win. So what's cool about this is you have a much better chance at winning this than Bloomsday. You get your shirt, but the difference is that Bloomsday, you have a shirt that everybody has, which is okay. But in our contest, you have a custom-made shirt with your name or nickname on the back, and everything else is the same.
Yeah.
And then we're even trying to come up with options where you can change your main color of it and do different things, have different colorways of it. If that isn't done this time around Shootfest 4, you better believe we're going to be doing that. So
who's your print sponsor?
So it is in the streetwear by Nicola, who's actually in the mall, in the old Fuego. In the west entrance of the mall, the main west entrance, you walk right in. Hers is the first store on the right. So that's where contestants can pick up their shirts that she's already making for them already.
And the name was again?
It is Streetwear by Nicola.
Streetwear by Nicola.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Haven't heard of her yet.
And she probably won't mind me saying this, but just to my point about a story that I was talking about earlier with our economy and the fact that there's small business owners, not just big companies that are in these malls now, right? Same thing happened to her. She got a phone. After 24, 25 years of service, man, she got an email from her boss, we don't need you anymore, come get this. And so she's like, what? She thought she'd retire. She took her money, took some of her savings, and started a business. There's lots of stories like that, man, where people that we're not talking about. We're talking about a whole bunch of divisive things. We're not talking about the needs that people have that are serious, And we're not talking about charity cases. We're talking about real artists and entrepreneurs. The people have talent, and they're putting their crafts out there. I recommend doing stuff online as well, having that duality. The brick and mortar concept, I feel like it can be successful, but to never put all your eggs in one basket if you can avoid that, get your online presence popping.
Yeah.
Almost even more so, but still highlight your store, your brick and mortar is where you're going to make those connections, though. It's where people are going to be, where other people are going to run into each other, that may have seen there's so many possibilities that can be manifested with physical touch, with physical relationship and energy and the connectivity of it all, Mm-hmm. It's powerful. That's how we're all here. That's how I'm here today. Like two people collaborated, made me. With you and him, some things for some collaborations are necessary, for us to even be here. So that's the probably one of the purest forms of the power of collaboration, really. But anyway, there's a lot of unknown with this, right now. This is our third one, but it feels like it's the first one, You want people to gravitate towards something. You want people to feel how you feel, even if it's obvious. Some people don't care about brick and mortar. Some people who were born into the iPads, that their first device, they could always talk to somebody on the phone and see their face. Mm-hmm. They were born into that. There's a lot of people that are born into stuff to where they don't understand the power of community and this connectivity. Like they don't get it. They've never been a part of it. So I don't want to get too far out of my canoe, man.
It's all good, man. I love these type of conversations.
Yeah, I'm just super excited about this to be able to. And I guess one other thing I'll say, what motivates me to do these things is to show anyone and everyone, the young, the old, and anyone that has an idea or a concept, that they could get out and they can manifest it, that they can mobilize. That's such a huge thing about this. Look at the I talk to people, I don't shoot basketball, I don't play basketball. And I'm like, well, can you shoot one? And they're like, yeah, I can shoot a little bit. Then come and play, because we need your energy. Okay, we need you to come and be a part of this, because people are not getting together anymore, and so we need to create events and to show other people they can do that too. And that's part of mobilizing, getting people together, creating something and saying, hey, this product is dope. To your point earlier, talking about Dave Matthews or whatever, I wanted to speak to that briefly too, the power of that. Music is like the soundtrack to our lives, you know? So sometimes when people go and see Dave Matthews with their mates, with their people, they can be 22, 23 again, you know, for a moment. They can get that same energy.
They got 4 kids at home.
Yeah. They can do that again. So we want the same feeling with Shootfest. We want people to come to try to do better than they did before. We want people to come to have wagers with their friends. You know, whoever makes it further has to buy dinner or whatever. You know, all these different things that people can do with within their own crews or whatever, and their own families and friends that are doing this to get to just to make it bigger and better, and just to keep that connective energy. It's very, very important.
I think so too. I also think that, you know, there are people in Spokane that have built up amazing things. Terrain, Hoopfest, other organizations that do put on really awesome things that get people together, but there's just not enough of it.
Right.
There's not enough of it yet. We don't have it consistently enough. We have our highlights a couple times a year that we all get excited for, but it's only really a handful of events a year that really brings the whole city together, really gets something going that's actually popping. Feels like it's bigger than it. You know, like there's a lot of events that happen in Spokane, but a lot of people don't know about them.
That's true.
So there are little pockets of things going on, but we don't have as a city major events that everybody in the city knows about. Everybody knows about Hoopfest. A majority of people know about Terrain's main event. You know, Bazaar has grown, and Bazaar has grown a lot. And whoever, I know there's other things going on out there that the city does, but like we lost Elk Fest, you know, that was like one of our biggest hometown festivals that we had for a long time that was taken away from us.
Right.
That's how I look at it. It felt like it was taken away from us. And that's really unfortunate because that was something Spokane had to look forward to that also brought a lot of attention to Brown's Edition, which is now, you know, it's still a very cool spot, but like Brown's Edition during Elk Fest is a whole vibe.
100%.
And it's not, I've never been able to experience that area like that since.
Right.
And that's unfortunate.
Right.
You know, so there's just a need for people like you to be like, yo, I'm going to start bringing the people together. I'm going to build something up. And the way that I see it, like the vision in my head is like Shootfest could be like what you see some of those street games in New York being like just huge crowds around, watching people shoot, having fun, having some food, you know, like making bets on the side, whatever.
Yeah, man.
You know,
it can be all those things, and it will, but we need the people to understand that. And we've had people sign up that, you know, there's a couple people particularly who have done every single one. And one guy, he's a native dude. He's a big man. He's probably about the better part of 400 pounds, and he can shoot.
Yeah.
This dude lights it up. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the amazing thing about this too. Everybody can do it. You don't have to be a hooper. You don't have to be able to dribble, you know, crazy skills with the ball and stuff, crazy moves. You know, if you have a good shot, whether it's an underhand, little goofy old school shot, or whether you just shoot hook shots, the person doesn't have to shoot the hook shot. But, you know, if you have a hook shot and you're good with it, you know, and you can whatever, just bring it on. But what's cool is you get your T-shirt, your custom-made shirt that you can collect, and just help us build this thing and help us grow it, man, and help us take it to other places. It started right here in Spokane, and I'm excited to build and continue to develop this thing and have new concepts and ideas. Oh, what am I talking about? We have so the first one, we had a $250 shot, Bobby. So this is how this works. So if you it's a very far away from the hoop, and you can make it how you want to make it, but it's a $250 shot. And if you make the shot, you get a ticket for making the shot to enter into the drawing, right? So it's not a big drawing because it's a hard shot to make number one. And then if you miss, you get an automatic letter. So we had a guy, I think he had there's 4 times throughout the day he hit the shot. And I think there was only like 7 to maybe 8 entries. So 8 different shots that were made. And he had at least 4. So we drew, when it came to drawing the name, it was somebody else's name. So he had a 50% chance to make that shot. Or not make it, but to win drawn, it and to get drawn, and he didn't make it. But still, now it's $150 shot, but we're not gonna have it just be a one-time drawing. So we're gonna do the $150, and then probably like every 2 hours or whatever. We haven't figured that out yet, but every 2 hours we'll reset it. We'll pay it out and then have it build up again. We'll see.
So you get paid as soon as you make it, kind of situation.
Well, we'll still have a drawing, but we'll just draw it out at the top of the hour.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So, or we could do that too. So I'll have to sit down with the group and figure out like what we want to tweak, and then eventually, with this one, bro, we're gonna have a program. We might even have things about sponsors. You'll have an opportunity to talk to the people. Some people are really shy when it comes to talking in public. But you're welcome to talk to the people about your brand when we come out. We're going to introduce the sponsors. This is just going to be super filthy. I'm just excited to see it work again. But we're still trying to break that last minute curse, man. I still haven't seen anyone master that yet. I've been promoting and doing events for a long time, and I'd say about 90-something% of the shows that I've done have sold out. But I still haven't mastered getting people in quickly. I've tried different incentives. I've done a lot of different things, and
you're talking about making the sales prior instead of it just being the sales coming in like 2 days before.
Yeah, when people know that Shootfest is here, like we want to see quick registrations. And
like it sells out.
Yes, and so that's
as soon as you release it.
That's what I want to get to, because this is supposed to, I never called it Hoop Town, but it's called Hoop Town, and for Hoop Town, I feel like with what we've done, Hoopers. Yeah, man. And I heard some people say they're scared of Marquis. This guy's a hooper, bro.
Right.
So I started hearing that. I'm like, well, man.
Well, then you ain't a hooper if you scared, bro.
Yeah, right.
You ain't a hooper if you scared.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, but he's the real deal. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I'm super excited. September 14th, Northtown Mall. 3rd installment, $33. The last time we did it was $26. It's just a few dollars more now, but you get your custom-made shirt, again, with your name or nickname in the back of the shirt, the Who Won It, and the Shootfest logo in the front. Super special, man. And then the winner for this 3rd one, I'm going to be running around this town and all over the place handing. If it's you, Bobby, can you imagine? If you win this, I'll be running around the city with your grill all over these pets.
That'd be hilarious if I won.
Can you hoop? Can you shoot?
I could shoot, but I would not say I'm a hooper.
But you could shoot.
I can shoot. I can play ball, but I know the levels of the game. I can compete, at a decent level. But I know real hoopers, so I don't even.
Yeah,
that's not my thing.
I got you.
Never been my
thing. I got you.
But I'm competitive and I'm athletic, so it's easy for me to be able to do decent, but definitely not a hooper.
So
see me on a snowboard though.
Yeah,
I'm not even that good when it comes to snowboarding. I gotta compare to the people I know. There's always some guys out there, bro. So I'll just keep it humble.
Yeah,
I can hold my own though. That's what I love to do though.
So snowboarding over skiing, like why did you choose not to ski? What's the difference really between snowboarding and skiing? Like, what is it?
It's a style.
Okay.
It's just stylistically, the way you ride a snowboard, the flow, the feel of it, the look of it.
Okay.
It's just, in my mind, it's just way sexier. It's way cooler. It's just, also like surfing. It's like surfing on snow. I did ski when I was like 2.5.
Oh.
Okay. And my dad has always been a big skier on water and snow. And so basically as soon as I was walking, I was on some kind of ski, whether it was on the water or on the snow. But when we moved up here, I had really started to love skateboarding, and snowboarding was really blowing up at that time and becoming big. And I was just like, I want to snowboard. And that's basically when me and my dad's relationship ended. But
Yeah.
no, joking.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. But I just love snowboarding. It's the one thing that I've found in life. I only get it during one season up here, of course. But man, when I'm snowboarding, I'm free, man.
Gotcha.
So
Quick question: is it clicky though? Did the snowboarders hate on the
hell
skiers?
yeah, it's clicky.
Like that.
It's clicky even within snowboarders.
Okay, I got you.
They're like, it's yeah. There's different types of snowboarders. There's different types of, I think that's been broken down though over the years. I'd say people more in my generation are more open between skiing and snowboarding. Like
Gotcha.
they're not as prejudiced as it used to be, but
Right.
it definitely still exists.
Right.
I mean, there's some times on the mountains where things happen between myself and a skier or something where it's just like skiers, from my experience and who I am, they just do some out of pocket stuff. Like just some straight trying to mess with you kind of situation.
I got you.
Or just say something because they think they had the right of way or whatever. It gets a little crazy sometimes.
I got you.
Best to just ignore it and keep riding, because I go up to have fun. I ride with skiers too, and I love riding with my homies that ski. But that's because we have understanding of each other, and we come from that same principle. There's very pretentious people on the mountain.
Okay.
We'll just put it that way.
Okay, yeah, that's.
And I'm not just saying they're just skiers. Tends to be more skiers from my point of view.
Course, right.
They're a little bit more pretentious than most snowboarders. And there's also really grounded, dope skiers that are like, they're snowboarders on skis. Like the mentality is the same.
All right.
But yeah, then there's some skiers out there. I don't rock with them at all.
Okay. Maybe you'll catch me up there sooner.
I just try to avoid those people. You can see them. You can spot them on the mountain. Just stay away from that person, man.
Right. So I wanted to thank you for being a part of this event with us, man. A lot of you guys don't know, man. I've had my eye on Bobby for a while, man. I've seen his brand, and before I knew he was connected, just seeing the brand and appreciating the brand. So once I found out it was him and who you were connected to, it was nice to sit down with you at another sponsor's place, King's on Monroe.
Yeah, shout out Kings and Nick over there.
And if I could take a moment too while we're talking about this, if I could just shout out some of our sponsors here. So
Most
again,
definitely.
we are right. The court, Shootfest court, is right in front of Champs. It's in front of Get Air, who's one of our sponsors. Bummy Boss Clips, one of our sponsors. Crazy Cars Detailing, Jacob Hain Productions. Of course, Nicola, Streetwear by Nicola, but on her logo there, it's just Nicola. Whitaker Furniture on Monroe, across the street from Kings. Yes. Rebuilt Treatment Facility. Canaware, Blades Room, Barbershop, of course, City Chapters. Swag, Strong Women Achieving Greatness, a program started by Jamie Stacy out of Rogers High School. Vision Properties, that's Latrice Williams' business. Essential Soap Company, who makes my soap companies, they manufacture my soap company's products.
Which is what? What's
which
your
is
soap?
Beauchamp and Chase.
Beauchamp and Chase.
Beauchamp and Chase down here at the bottom. And Northtown Mall, of course, is a sponsor. Urban Blends, Shootfest takes place in that corridor where Urban Blends is, so shout out to them. Minuteman Press on Trent, which is where one of our signs is, right down the street from SCC. And there are more. There's Teleport. They'll be on the new flyer. There's Teleport.
The Vintage
Vintage
store.
place right next to King's. Oh, and 4 a.m.
Yeah.
4 a.m. Chris. Shout out to Chris. 4 a.m.'s on here. And Chris, I think he was interviewed here last.
His episode chapter just came out yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish watching that and see if he highlighted what he's sponsoring. We'll see. But anyway, these are our sponsors. We appreciate all of you guys because this takes money and energy. and mostly energy to get this thing done, mostly energy to connect the community together and just to get people talking about it. A lot of people, man, I'm out in these streets, bro, and I see people all the time. I'm out the trunk, bro. That's where I come from. People my age, we get out face to face, eye to eye. We dap up, we don't do a lot of keyboard stuff. So this is nice to be able to get out and people are like, I've seen it. I see this. Yeah, I'm showing up. I'm coming to play and all this. So the work is being done. There's constant affirmations, but I want to see that we're standing on Hooptown, that's not just for Hoop Fest, that it's for any and all things community centered around basketball for sure, 100%. If it's Hooptown, then we expect some hoopers to be here, not just the same people. We want new faces, new blood on the Shootfest court, September 14th.
September 14th. Yeah, Northtown right in front of Champs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we got some good substance there, man,
Yes,
on
sir.
what you got going on.
Yeah, man.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I just wanted to let I guess one more thing. Again, I'm encouraging everybody to come out, and if you've ran Bloomsday, I thought about this last night, and this is the realest thing I can say about this. If you've ran Bloomsday, you didn't think you were gonna win. That's not why you did it. You did it because for different reasons, but you did it because you obviously, if you're gonna get in one of the biggest races, on the planet, you definitely don't mind being around people or community, right? So we want to build something in that form and fashion where it's unique, it's fun, and again, you can't get yourself hurt here unless you don't stretch, which, excuse me, can happen. You don't stretch well and you get out there and try to shoot the ball, yeah, you can hurt yourself. But in terms of outside of that, the only thing getting
likelihood is a lot lower.
Way, way, way lower. So that's really it, man. I appreciate you guys having me today, man. This is it's dope. I love to talk about things that love to talk about just being able to create, showing people, reminding the young, the old, that you can come up with a concept, you can put it together, and you can swing for the fences and see what you get.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Close it up. All right. This chapter was with Genesis Veronon. This is for Shootfest 3. Maybe we'll have him back on to talk more about him and who he really is beyond Shootfest. But we're just gonna close it up. So you got the substance, you got the information. If you watch this is coming out right before Shootfest, probably a week or two before. So if you're listening, show up, come support Genesis, come support city chapters and everybody else that's a part of this thing, and come watch some hoopers get down. All right, see you.